Hello, and welcome to the Mindful Zone. I'm so glad you're here today. This is a space where we come together to explore ways to live more mindfully, peacefully, and joyfully. And today we're diving deep into something truly transformative, 10 Buddhist teachings that can help you find inner peace, reduce stress, and cultivate mindfulness in your daily life. Now, before we begin, take a moment to settle in. Maybe you're sitting comfortably on your couch, or perhaps you found a quiet spot outside where you can breathe in the fresh air. Wherever you are, just allow yourself to be present for these next 2 hours. Let go of any distractions, any worries about what's coming next, and simply be here with me. Why focus on Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness? Because these practices are timeless. They've been guiding people toward greater clarity, compassion, and contentment for thousands of years, and they still hold incredible relevance in our modern lives. Think about it. How many times have you felt overwhelmed by work, relationships, or even just the constant noise of everyday life? How often do you catch yourself worrying about things that haven't happened yet, or replaying past moments over and over again in your mind? If you're nodding along right now, know that you're not alone. We all experience those feelings at some point, but here's the good news. There is another way. By embracing the wisdom of Buddhism and incorporating mindfulness into your routine, you can learn to relax, stop worrying, and approach life with a sense of calm and purpose. In this video, we'll break down 10 powerful teachings, one at a time, that will give you practical tools to navigate life's challenges with grace. Each chapter will offer insights, reflections, and actionable steps you can start using immediately. Whether you're completely new to these concepts or you've been meditating for years, there's something here for everyone. So, let's set an intention for this journey together. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Feel your body relaxing, your shoulders dropping, your jaw softening. As you watch and listen, imagine planting seeds of peace within yourself. Some may sprout quickly while others might take time to grow, but all of them have the potential to transform your life. Throughout this video, I'll guide you through each teaching with warmth and accessibility. There will be pauses along the way for you to reflect, breathe, and absorb the words. You might want to grab a journal if you'd like to jot down thoughts or insights as they come to you. Or if you prefer, just sit back, close your eyes, and let the teachings wash over you. Are you ready? Wonderful. Let's embark on this path together, a path that leads not outward, but inward. A path that reminds us of who we truly are beneath the layers of stress, worry, and distraction. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Impermanence of Life. Our first teaching is one of the most profound and foundational principles in Buddhism, impermanence. In Sanskrit, it's called anicca, and it refers to the truth that everything in life is transient, ever-changing, and fleeting. This principle applies to every aspect of existence, from the smallest details of our daily lives to the vast cycles of nature and the cosmos itself. Understanding impermanence isn't just an intellectual exercise, it's a transformative way of seeing the world that can bring immense peace and clarity to your life. Let's start by reflecting on the reality of change. Think about the seasons. Spring bursts forth with new growth. Summer radiates warmth and abundance. Autumn brings the vibrant colors of decay, and winter blankets the earth in stillness. Each season flows seamlessly into the next, reminding us that nothing remains fixed. Even within a single day, light shifts as the sun rises, peaks, and sets. These natural rhythms are constant reminders of impermanence, yet so often we resist this truth in our personal lives. Why do we resist? Because impermanence can feel unsettling. Humans have an innate desire for stability and control. We want relationships to last forever, careers to progress without setbacks, and happiness to remain uninterrupted. But clinging to permanence, believing that things should stay exactly as they are, only leads to suffering when change inevitably occurs. Consider the pain of loss. Whether it's the end of a relationship, the death of a loved one, or the fading of a cherished dream, loss reminds us that nothing is guaranteed. At the time, these experiences may seem unbearable, but they also hold a deeper lesson. When we sit with the discomfort of impermanence, we begin to see that even the hardest moments eventually soften. Grief transforms into acceptance, wounds heal, and new beginnings emerge. But impermanence isn't just about hardship, it's also about beauty. Take a moment to think about the fleeting pleasures in life, the warmth of sunlight on your skin during a crisp autumn morning, the laughter shared with friends over dinner, the delicate fragrance of flowers in bloom. These moments are precious precisely because they don't last. If everything were permanent, would we appreciate it as much? Probably not. It's the ephemeral nature of life that makes it so rich and meaningful. So, how can we embrace impermanence rather than fear it? One way is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches us to pay attention to the present moment without clinging to it or pushing it away. By observing the subtle changes happening around us, the rustling of leaves, the shifting light, the rhythm of our breath, we train ourselves to accept the flow of life. Another powerful practice is letting go of rigid expectations. So often, we create mental scripts for how our lives should unfold. We believe that if we work hard enough, we'll achieve success. If we love deeply enough, our relationships will thrive. While effort and intention matter, life rarely follows a straight path. Instead of fighting against uncertainty, try opening yourself to the possibility of surprise. For example, imagine you're stuck in traffic. Instead of feeling frustrated, use the delay as an opportunity to listen to calming music, reflect on your day, or simply breathe. By releasing attachment to specific outcomes, you cultivate resilience and inner peace. Accepting impermanence doesn't mean giving up on goals or responsibilities. Far from it. It means approaching them with flexibility and grace. When challenges arise, as they inevitably will, you'll be better equipped to adapt without becoming overwhelmed. For instance, if a project at work takes longer than expected, instead of spiraling into frustration, remind yourself that delays are part of the process. By staying grounded in the knowledge that everything is temporary, you can respond with patience and creativity. To deepen your understanding of impermanence, let's explore some practical examples. Picture a storm cloud passing overhead. At first, it might block the sunlight and cast shadows across the landscape, but soon enough, the wind carries it away, and the sky clears once more. Similarly, difficult emotions like anger, sadness, or anxiety are temporary. They arise, linger for a while, and then dissolve. Recognizing this can help you navigate emotional storms with greater ease. Instead of identifying with your feelings, "I am angry," you can observe them objectively. Anger is present right now. This shift in perspective creates distance between you and your emotions, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Now let's apply this teaching to relationships. Relationships are inherently dynamic. People grow and change over time, which can sometimes lead to conflict or separation. Rather than resisting these changes, try embracing them as opportunities for growth. For example, if a friendship begins to fade, instead of clinging to what once was, focus on appreciating the connection you shared. Gratitude allows you to honor the past without being trapped by it. Impermanence also has profound implications for how we view aging and mortality. Many people fear growing older or dread the inevitability of death, but what if we reframe these realities as natural parts of the human experience? Aging brings wisdom, maturity, and the chance to savor life's richness. And while death is undoubtedly daunting, it also reminds us to live fully and authentically in the present moment. As the poet Mary Oliver famously asked, "What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" Ultimately, impermanence invites us to cherish the here and now. When we understand that everything is temporary, we stop taking things for granted We savor meals, express gratitude to loved ones, and find joy in simple pleasures. Life becomes less about striving for some distant future and more about embracing the sacredness of the present. As you reflect on this teaching, ask yourself, what areas of my life am I clinging to too tightly? How might accepting impermanence help me release resistance and find peace? Remember, impermanence isn't a reason to despair. It's a source of hope. Just as storms pass and flowers bloom again, so too does life move through cycles of challenge and renewal. Trust in the flow of existence and trust in your ability to navigate it with courage and grace. This teaching of impermanence lays the foundation for everything else we'll explore in this video. It reminds us that life is a continuous dance of beginnings and endings, each step holding its own unique beauty. Carry this awareness with you as we move forward and let it guide you toward greater peace and presence. Chapter 2. Letting Go of Attachments. Our second teaching takes us deeper into the heart of Buddhist wisdom, letting go of attachments. In Sanskrit, this concept is referred to as upadana, which means clinging or grasping. Attachments are those things we hold onto tightly because we believe they define us, protect us, or bring us happiness. While attachments may seem harmless or even necessary, they often become sources of suffering when reality doesn't align with our expectations. Learning to let go is one of the most liberating practices you can embrace on your journey toward inner peace. To understand why attachments cause suffering, we must first examine what attachment really means. It's not just about material possessions, though these are common examples. Attachments can also be emotional, relational, intellectual, or even spiritual. For instance, you might cling to a particular identity, thinking of yourself as successful, creative, or spiritual, and feel threatened when circumstances challenge that self-image. You might attach yourself to an idealized version of a relationship, expecting your partner to always meet your needs or behave in specific ways. Or you might fixate on certain outcomes, believing that achieving them will finally make you happy. The problem with attachments isn't the objects or ideas themselves, it's the way we relate to them. When we grasp too tightly, we create rigidity in our lives. We resist change, fear loss, and experience anxiety whenever things don't go according to plan. This resistance creates friction between how we want life to be and how life actually unfolds. The result? Suffering. Let's explore this through an everyday example. Imagine buying a new car. At first, the excitement is exhilarating, the sleek design, the fresh scent of leather, the thrill of driving something shiny and new. It all feels incredible. But over time, the novelty fades, scratches appear, the engine starts making strange noises, and suddenly the car no longer feels like the source of joy it once was. If you're deeply attached to the idea of having a perfect car, these changes might frustrate you. You might spend energy trying to maintain its pristine condition, or feel disappointed when it inevitably shows signs of wear. On the other hand, if you approach the car with non-attachment, recognizing it as a temporary tool for transportation, you'll experience far less stress when issues arise. This same principle applies to relationships, achievements, and even emotions. Think about a romantic partnership. Love is beautiful, but when we attach ourselves too strongly to someone, believing they are the sole source of our happiness, we risk losing ourselves in the process. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect, independence, and freedom. If you cling too tightly, demanding constant validation or control, the relationship becomes suffocating. By contrast, cultivating non-attachment allows both partners to grow individually while nurturing their connection. Now, let's address a common misconception. Letting go of attachments does not mean abandoning everything you care about. Non-attachment is not indifference. It's not about giving up your goals, neglecting your responsibilities, or detaching emotionally from loved ones. Rather, it's about finding balance. It's about engaging with life fully without being controlled by fear or desire. Consider the story of the Buddha himself. Before attaining enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama lived a life of luxury surrounded by wealth, power, and privilege. Yet despite his comforts, he felt unfulfilled. He realized that clinging to pleasure only led to more craving, while avoiding pain only deepened his dissatisfaction. So he left behind his palace and embarked on a quest for truth. Through years of meditation and reflection, he discovered that true freedom comes from letting go, not of external circumstances, but of our internal clinging to them. So how can we practice non-attachment in our own lives? One effective method is mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us observe our thoughts and emotions without identifying with them. For example, if you notice yourself feeling anxious about money, instead of spiraling into worry, acknowledge the thought, "I'm noticing anxiety about finances." Then ask yourself, is this thought helpful? What would happen if I released my tight grip on this concern? Simply observing your attachment creates space between you and the emotion, allowing you to respond with clarity rather than reactivity. Another powerful practice is gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have. Instead of obsessing over acquiring more, whether it's material goods, status, or approval, we learn to appreciate the abundance already present in our lives. For instance, instead of longing for a bigger house, take a moment to express gratitude for the roof over your head. Instead of comparing yourself to others, celebrate your unique gifts and talents. Gratitude loosens the grip of attachment by reminding us that we are enough exactly as we are. Non-attachment also invites us to release the need for perfection. Perfectionism is a form of attachment that keeps us trapped in cycles of self-criticism and dissatisfaction. Whether it's striving for flawless performance at work or seeking an ideal body image, the pursuit of perfection is exhausting and ultimately unattainable. When we let go of unrealistic standards, we open ourselves to the beauty of imperfection. We learn to see mistakes not as failures, but as opportunities for growth. Let's delve deeper into practical applications of non-attachment. Suppose you're preparing for an important presentation at work. Naturally, you want it to go well. You've invested time and effort into crafting your message. However, if you attach your sense of worth to the outcome, if you believe that success equals validation, you set yourself up for disappointment if things don't go as planned. Instead, try focusing on the process. Give your best effort. Stay present during the presentation and trust that whatever happens is part of your journey. This mindset reduces anxiety and allows you to perform with greater ease and authenticity. Similarly, consider how non-attachment can transform your relationship with technology. In today's digital age, many of us are addicted to our devices. We scroll endlessly through social media feeds, compare ourselves to curated highlight reels, and seek validation through likes and comments. These habits reinforce attachment to external approval, leaving us feeling empty and disconnected. Practicing non-attachment means setting boundaries around screen time, engaging with technology mindfully, and remembering that your value isn't determined by online metrics. Non-attachment extends beyond personal concerns to encompass broader societal issues as well. Many people identify strongly with political ideologies, religious beliefs, or cultural traditions. While these affiliations can provide a sense of belonging, they can also lead to division and conflict when taken to extremes. By practicing non-attachment to rigid viewpoints, we remain open to learning, dialogue, and collaboration. We recognize that truth is multifaceted and that diverse perspectives enrich our understanding of the world. At its core, non-attachment teaches us to live lightly. Just as a kite soars highest when tethered loosely to its string, we thrive when we hold life gently. This doesn't mean disengaging from the world, it means participating with awareness, compassion, and flexibility. When we stop clinging so fiercely to people, possessions, and outcomes, we create space for joy, creativity, and connection to flow naturally. As you reflect on this teaching, ask yourself, where am I holding on too tightly? What fears or desires are driving my attachments? How might letting go, even just a little, bring me closer to peace? Remember, non-attachment is a lifelong practice. It's not about achieving some final state of detachment. It's about continually softening your grip and trusting in the unfolding of life. Carry this lesson with you as we move forward. Letting go of attachments frees you to live with greater ease, resilience, and presence. And as you cultivate non-attachment, you'll find that true fulfillment comes not from possessing, but from simply being. Chapter 3, Practicing Mindfulness. Our third teaching brings us to the heart of Buddhist practice, and one of the most transformative tools available to us, mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the moment without judgment or distraction. It's a simple concept, yet its implications are profound. By cultivating mindfulness, we can reduce stress, enhance our well-being, and connect more deeply with ourselves and the world around us. But what exactly does mindfulness mean, and how can we integrate it into our daily lives? Let's explore this practice in depth. Mindfulness begins with awareness. It's about noticing what's happening right now, both within you and around you, without trying to change it or escape from it. This might sound easy, but in reality, it's one of the hardest things we can do. Why? Because our minds are constantly pulled in different directions. We ruminate about the past, worry about the future, and rarely spend time simply existing in the present. Think about your own experience. How often do you find yourself lost in thought while doing routine tasks like brushing your teeth, driving, or eating a meal? These moments of autopilot living disconnect us from the richness of life. The good news is that mindfulness offers a way back to presence. It invites us to anchor ourselves in the here and now by focusing on sensory experiences. For example, when you drink a cup of tea, mindfulness encourages you to pay attention to every detail. The warmth of the mug in your hands, the aroma rising from the steam, the taste of the liquid as it touches your tongue. Instead of gulping it down while scrolling through your phone, you savor each sip. This deliberate focus transforms an ordinary act into a sacred ritual. But mindfulness isn't just about paying attention to external sensations, it's also about tuning inward. One of the most accessible ways to practice mindfulness is through the breath. Your breath is always with you, serving as a steady anchor whenever your mind starts to wander. To begin, find a comfortable position, whether sitting, standing, or lying down, and close your eyes if it feels safe to do so. Take a deep inhale through your nose, feeling your abdomen expand, then exhale slowly, letting go of tension. Repeat this process several times, allowing your breathing to become natural and effortless. As thoughts arise, and they will, acknowledge them without judgment and gently return your focus to your breath. This practice might seem too simple to make a difference, but don't underestimate its power. Research shows that regular mindfulness meditation reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression, improves focus and cognitive function, and even strengthens the immune system. Beyond these tangible benefits, mindfulness fosters a deeper sense of connection. When you're fully present, you notice details you might otherwise overlook. The vibrant colors of a sunset, the subtle expressions on someone's face, the intricate patterns of leaves swaying in the breeze. Life becomes richer, more vivid, and infinitely more meaningful. Let's delve into some practical strategies for incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine. One effective technique is mindful eating. Many of us eat quickly, barely tasting our food as we rush through meals. Mindful eating flips this habit on its head. Before you take your first bite, pause and express gratitude for the nourishment before you. Notice the textures, colors, and aromas of your meal. Chew slowly, savoring each flavor. Pay attention to how your body feels as you eat. Does hunger diminish? Do you feel satisfied? By approaching meals with mindfulness, you not only improve digestion, but also cultivate a healthier relationship with food. Another powerful practice is mindful movement. Whether it's yoga, tai chi, walking, or even stretching, bringing awareness to your body's movements can be incredibly grounding. For For instance, during a mindful walk, focus on the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your steps, and the sounds around you. If your mind drifts, gently bring it back to the physical experience of walking. This practice not only calms the nervous system, but also helps you reconnect with your body, which is especially important in our increasingly sedentary and screen-focused world. Mindfulness can also transform challenging emotions. Often when we experience feelings like anger, sadness, or fear, our instinct is to suppress them or distract ourselves. However, resisting emotions only intensifies their hold over us. Mindfulness offers a gentler approach, welcoming emotions with curiosity rather than judgment. The next time you feel overwhelmed, try this exercise. Sit quietly and observe the emotion. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it tightness in your chest, heaviness in your stomach, or tension in your jaw? Name the emotion. I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling frustrated, and allow yourself to sit with it for a few moments. This acknowledgement creates space between you and the emotion, giving you the clarity to respond wisely rather than react impulsively. Of course, practicing mindfulness doesn't mean ignoring real-world responsibilities or pretending everything is fine when it's not. On the contrary, mindfulness equips us to handle difficulties with greater resilience. For example, imagine facing a high-pressure deadline at work. Instead of succumbing to panic, mindfulness allows you to stay grounded, focus on the task at hand, break it into manageable steps, and trust that you'll navigate the challenge one step at a time. By staying present, you conserve mental energy and avoid unnecessary stress. It's worth noting that mindfulness isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey. Like any skill, it requires consistent practice. At first, you may struggle to maintain focus for more than a few seconds. Thoughts will intrude, distractions will pull you away, and frustration may creep in, or that's perfectly normal. The key is persistence. Each time you notice your mind wandering and bring it back to the present, you strengthen your mindfulness muscle. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, infusing every aspect of your life with greater awareness and calm. To deepen your understanding of mindfulness, let's explore its roots in Buddhism. In the Satipatthana Sutta, one of the foundational texts of Buddhist teachings, mindfulness is described as the path to liberation. The Buddha taught 4 foundations of mindfulness: mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of feelings, mindfulness of the mind, and mindfulness of phenomena. Together, these practices form a comprehensive framework for observing all aspects of human experience with clarity and compassion. While traditional Buddhist meditation involves extended periods of silent contemplation, modern adaptations emphasize integrating mindfulness into everyday activities. Both approaches share the same goal: awakening to the truth of the present moment. Now, let's consider how mindfulness relates to other teachings we've discussed, such as impermanence and non-attachment. Mindfulness naturally aligns with these principles because it trains us to observe the transient nature of thoughts, emotions, and sensations without clinging to them. For example, when you meditate, you'll notice that thoughts come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. Some linger longer than others, but none remain forever. Recognizing this impermanence helps you detach from unhelpful mental patterns and embrace the fluidity of existence. Similarly, mindfulness supports non-attachment by fostering a sense of spaciousness. When you're fully present, you realize that nothing, including your identity, possessions, or achievements, defines you permanently. You learn to engage with life lightly, holding experiences with open hands rather than clenched fists. As you incorporate mindfulness into your life, remember that it's not about achieving a particular state of bliss or enlightenment. It's about showing up moment by moment with kindness and curiosity. Sometimes mindfulness reveals beauty and joy, other times it uncovers discomfort and pain. Both are part of the human experience, and both deserve your attention. To support your practice, consider creating a dedicated space for mindfulness. This could be a quiet corner of your home where you meditate, journal, or simply sit in silence. Surround yourself with items that evoke peace: a candle, a plant, a favorite book, and use this space as a sanctuary whenever you need to recharge. Additionally, set realistic goals for your practice. Start with just 5 minutes a day and gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable. Consistency matters more than length. Even brief moments of mindfulness can have a significant impact. Finally, extend mindfulness beyond yourself to include others. One beautiful aspect of mindfulness is its ripple effect. When you're fully present with someone, listening attentively, making eye contact, offering genuine empathy, you create a space of connection and understanding. This quality of presence enriches relationships and fosters a sense of community. Imagine applying mindfulness to conversations, meetings, or family gatherings. By giving people your undivided attention, you honor their humanity and strengthen your bonds. In conclusion, mindfulness is a gateway to inner peace and fulfillment. It teaches us to slow down, breathe deeply, and appreciate the miracle of being alive. By embracing this practice, you'll discover that happiness isn't something to chase in the future. It's already here, waiting to be noticed. So whether you're sipping tea, walking in nature, or simply breathing, invite mindfulness into your life. Let it guide you toward greater awareness, compassion, and joy. Carry this teaching with you as we move forward. Mindfulness is a lifelong companion, always ready to remind you of the beauty and simplicity of the present moment. Chapter 4. Compassion toward yourself and others. Our fourth teaching brings us to the heart of human connection: compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is not just a feeling, it's an active practice that begins with kindness toward ourselves and extends outward to encompass all beings. This teaching invites us to cultivate a deep sense of care, empathy, and understanding for ourselves and others, transforming not only our own lives but also the world around us. Let's explore how compassion works, why it matters, and how you can weave it into the fabric of your daily existence. Compassion starts with self-compassion. Many of us are quick to extend kindness to others but struggle to show the same level of care to ourselves. We criticize our mistakes, judge our shortcomings, and hold ourselves to impossibly high standards. Yet, without self-compassion, we risk burnout, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. Self-compassion asks us to treat ourselves as we would a dear friend, someone who deserves patience, encouragement, and unconditional support. Imagine a close friend comes to you after making a mistake at work. They feel ashamed, defeated, and overwhelmed. What do you say to them? Chances likely you offer reassurance. You're human. Everyone makes mistakes. You'll learn from this and grow stronger. Now imagine yourself in a similar situation. Do you speak to yourself with the same gentleness, or do you berate yourself, replaying the error over and over in your mind? If the latter sounds familiar, know that you're not alone and that change is possible. One powerful way to practice self-compassion is through affirmations. Affirmations are simple statements designed to shift your mindset from criticism to kindness. For example, instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," try replacing it with, "I'm doing my best and that's enough." These small shifts in language may seem insignificant, but they have a profound impact on your inner dialogue. Over time, affirmations help rewire your brain, fostering a more compassionate relationship with yourself. Another effective tool is mindfulness. When you notice negative self-talk creeping in, pause and observe it without judgment. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Would I say this to someone I love? Often simply acknowledging the harshness of your inner critic is enough to loosen its grip. From there, you can replace self-criticism with self-kindness. Place a hand over your heart and silently repeat phrases like, "May I be kind to myself. May I forgive myself. May I find peace." Feel the warmth of these words spreading through your chest, soothing the ache of self-judgment. Self-compassion doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior or avoiding accountability. It means recognizing that imperfection is part of being human. When you make a mistake, instead of spiraling into shame, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow? By approaching challenges with curiosity rather than condemnation, you create space for healing and transformation. Once you've established a foundation of self-compassion, you can begin extending that kindness outward to others. Compassion toward others isn't about grand gestures or heroic acts. It's about cultivating empathy in everyday interactions. Think about the last time someone cut you off in traffic or said something hurtful. How did you react? Perhaps anger or frustration bubbled up, clouding your ability to respond thoughtfully. Now, imagine responding with compassion instead. What if that person was having a terrible day? What if their actions stemmed from pain or fear rather than malice? Shifting your perspective in this way diffuses conflict and fosters connection. One practical way to practice compassion is through active listening. Active listening involves giving someone your full attention, not just hearing their words, but truly understanding their emotions and experiences. Next time you're in a conversation, resist the urge to interrupt or plan your response while the other person is speaking. Instead, focus on their tone, body language, and choice of words. Reflect back what you hear by saying things like, "It sounds like you're feeling frustrated because," or "I can see why that would be difficult for you." This validation lets the other person know they're seen and heard, creating a safe space for vulnerability and trust. Compassion also plays a vital role in addressing societal issues. In a world often divided by politics, religion, and culture, compassion reminds us of our shared humanity. It calls us to look beyond differences and recognize the suffering that unites us all. Whether it's volunteering at a local shelter, advocating for social justice, or simply offering a smile to a stranger, every act of compassion contributes to a more harmonious world. Let's delve deeper into the science behind compassion. Research shows that practicing compassion has tangible benefits for both mental and physical health. Studies indicate that compassion reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and boosts immune function. It also increases feelings of happiness and fulfillment, creating a positive feedback loop. The more compassion you give, the more you receive in return. Furthermore, neuroscientific studies reveal that acts of kindness activate the brain's reward centers, releasing hormones like oxytocin and dopamine that promote well-being. In essence, compassion is good for you and for everyone around you. To integrate compassion into your daily life, consider adopting a formal practice known as metta meditation. Metta, which means loving kindness in Pali, is a Buddhist meditation technique designed to cultivate compassion. Begin by finding a quiet space and settling into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Then silently repeat phrases of goodwill starting with yourself. May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease. Once you feel grounded, expand your circle of compassion to include loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even those you will find challenging. Repeat the same phrases for each group. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. As you continue this practice, notice how your heart softens and expands, dissolving barriers between yourself and others. Now let's reflect on the relationship between compassion and forgiveness. Forgiveness is an essential component of compassion, both toward ourselves and others. Holding on to grudges or resentment is like carrying a heavy burden. It weighs us down and prevents our own healing. Compassion teaches us to release these burdens, not because the offense was acceptable, but because holding on to anger harms us more than anyone else. Forgiving yourself can be particularly challenging. Maybe you made a decision you regret or hurt someone unintentionally. Whatever the case, self-forgiveness requires acknowledging your humanity and embracing imperfection. Remind yourself that growth often arises from mistakes and that you deserve a second chance, as does everyone else. When forgiving others, compassion helps us separate the person from their actions. For example, suppose a colleague betrayed your trust. While their behavior may have been hurtful, it likely stemmed from their own struggles or insecurities. By viewing them through the lens of compassion, you can detach from the pain they caused and focus on moving forward. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, it means freeing yourself from the grip of bitterness. Compassion also aligns closely with two other teachings we've explored: mindfulness and non-attachment. Mindfulness enhances compassion by helping us stay present with others' suffering without becoming overwhelmed. Non-attachment supports compassion by teaching us to engage with life openly, without clinging to rigid expectations or judgments. Together, these practices form a holistic framework for living with greater awareness, empathy, and peace. As you deepen your practice of compassion, remember that it's a skill that develops over time. Like any muscle, it grows stronger with consistent use. Start small, offer a kind word to a coworker, volunteer for a cause you care about, or simply smile at a passerby. Each act of compassion ripples outward, touching lives in ways you may never fully realize. Finally, let's address a common misconception: that compassion is weak or passive. Nothing could be further from the truth. Compassion takes immense courage. It asks us to confront pain, our own and others, and respond with love rather than fear. It challenges us to step outside our comfort zones, challenge injustice, and stand up for what's right. Compassion is not weakness, it's strength rooted in wisdom and heart. In conclusion, compassion is a cornerstone of inner peace and meaningful connection. It begins with self-kindness and radiates outward, transforming relationships and communities. By embracing compassion, you not only enrich your own life, but also contribute to a more compassionate world. So whether you're comforting a friend, forgiving yourself, or simply breathing deeply, let compassion guide your actions. Carry this teaching with you as we move forward. Compassion is a light that shines brightly, even in the darkest moments. Let it illuminate your path and inspire those around you. Chapter 5. Embracing Non-Judgment. Our fifth teaching invites us to explore one of the most liberating practices we can cultivate: non-judgment. In Buddhism, non-judgment is closely tied to mindfulness and compassion. It's the art of observing life without labeling it as good or bad, right or wrong. This teaching challenges us to step back from our habitual patterns of evaluation and instead embrace the raw, unfiltered reality of each moment. By letting go of judgment, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and open the door to profound peace and clarity. Judgment is deeply ingrained in the human experience. From a young age, we're taught to categorize, compare, and evaluate everything around us. We judge people based on their appearance, behavior, or beliefs. We judge situations as successes or failures. We even judge ourselves, our worthiness, our abilities, our choices. While judgment serves a practical purpose in helping us navigate the world, it often becomes a source of stress and division when taken to extremes. Think about how frequently you engage in judgment throughout your day. You might label a rainy morning as dreary, a slow internet connection as frustrating, or a colleague's comment as rude. These evaluations happen so automatically that we rarely question them. Yet every judgment carries an emotional charge. It colors our perception and influences how we respond to the world. Over time, this constant stream of judgment creates tension, bias, and separation. Non-judgment asks us to pause and notice these automatic responses without identifying with them. Instead of immediately labeling something as good or bad, we simply observe it for what it is. For example, instead of thinking, "This traffic jam is terrible," you might reframe it as, "There's a lot of traffic right now." This subtle shift removes the emotional layer of frustration and allows you to approach the situation with greater calm and creativity. The practice of non-judgment doesn't mean abandoning discernment or ignoring harmful behaviors. It's not about pretending that injustice doesn't exist or excusing unethical actions. Rather, it's about cultivating awareness of the judgments we make and choosing whether they serve us or if they cloud our ability to see clearly. When we release the need to constantly evaluate, we create space for understanding, curiosity, and acceptance. Let's delve into some practical ways to integrate non-judgment into your daily life. One powerful technique is mindful observation. The next time you find yourself reacting strongly to a situation, whether it's irritation at a long line at the grocery store or disappointment over a missed opportunity, pause and ask yourself, what am I judging here? Is this reaction based on facts, or is it colored by my assumptions and expectations? Simply becoming aware of your judgments is the first step toward loosening their grip. Another effective tool is reframing language. Words carry immense power, and the way we describe things shapes our experience of them. For instance, instead of saying, I failed, you might say, I learned something valuable. Instead of calling someone difficult, you might acknowledge that they're struggling with challenges you may not fully understand. Reframing isn't about denying reality, it's about shifting your perspective to one that fosters growth and connection. Non-judgment also applies to our relationship with ourselves. Many of us are quick to criticize our perceived flaws or shortcomings. We judge our bodies, productivity, our emotions, and our decisions. But what would happen if we approached ourselves with curiosity instead of condemnation? Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing yourself not as a collection of imperfections, but as a unique, evolving being worthy of love and respect. Practicing self-acceptance in this way dismantles the inner critic and creates room for authentic self-expression. To deepen your understanding of non-judgment, let's examine its role in meditation. During meditation, thoughts, sensations, and emotions inevitably arise. Without judgment, these experiences are simply observed. They come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. However, when judgment enters the picture, we start labeling thoughts as good or bad, clinging to some and resisting others. This attachment disrupts the flow of awareness and pulls us out of the present moment. By practicing non-judgment during meditation, we learn to greet each experience with equanimity, fostering a sense of spaciousness and freedom. Now let's consider how non-judgment intersects with other teachings we've explored, such as mindfulness and compassion. Mindfulness lays the groundwork for non-judgment by training us to pay attention to the present moment without distraction. Compassion builds on this foundation by encouraging us to meet ourselves and others with kindness rather than criticism. Together, these practices form a cohesive framework for living with greater awareness and empathy. One area where non-judgment has transformative potential is in relationships. So often conflicts arise because we judge others' actions or intentions through the lens of our own expectations. For example, if a friend cancels plans last minute, you might assume they don't value your time and feel hurt or angry. But what if you approached the situation with non-judgment? You might wonder, what circumstances led to this decision? Are they dealing with something I'm unaware of? By suspending judgment, you open the door to dialogue and understanding, strengthening your connection rather than creating distance. Non-judgment also plays a crucial role in addressing societal issues. In a world rife with polarization, judgment often fuels division and conflict. We label entire groups of people based on stereotypes or political affiliations, reinforcing us versus them mentalities. Non-judgment challenges us to look beyond these labels and recognize the humanity in everyone. It calls us to listen deeply, seek common ground, and work towards solutions rooted in mutual respect. Let's take a moment to reflect on the benefits of non-judgment. Research shows that adopting a non-judgmental attitude reduces stress, enhances emotional resilience, and improves overall well-being. When we stop judging ourselves and others so harshly, we experience less anxiety and more contentment. We also become more adaptable, able to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and flexibility. Furthermore, non-judgment fosters inclusivity and belonging, creating environments where diverse perspectives are valued and celebrated. To support your practice of non-judgment, consider incorporating journaling into your routine. Journaling provides a safe space to explore your thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. Write freely about whatever arises, your fears, hopes, frustrations, or joys, without censoring yourself. As you review your entries, notice any recurring patterns of judgment. Are there specific areas of your life where you tend to be overly critical? Use this insight to guide your efforts toward greater self-awareness and acceptance. Another helpful strategy is practicing gratitude alongside non-judgment. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, naturally reducing the tendency to judge negatively. For example, instead of complaining about bad weather, you might express gratitude for the rain nourishing the earth. Instead of criticizing a co-worker's performance, you might appreciate their effort and dedication. Combining non-judgment with gratitude amplifies both practices, filling your life with positivity and presence. It's important to acknowledge that non-judgment isn't easy. It requires patience and persistence. Our minds are wired to categorize and evaluate, so breaking free from this habit takes time. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this journey. Celebrate small victories like catching yourself mid-judgment and choosing to reframe it. Remember, progress is more important than perfection. Finally, let's address a common misconception that non-judgment means passively accepting everything as it is. This couldn't be further from the truth. Non-judgment empowers us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. It gives us the clarity to discern between what truly matters and what doesn't, allowing us to take meaningful action without being swayed by bias or emotion. In conclusion, non-judgment is a gateway to inner peace and harmonious living. It teaches us to see the world and ourselves as it truly is, without the distortions of judgment. By embracing this practice, we reduce unnecessary suffering, deepen our connections, and cultivate a more compassionate and inclusive worldview. So whether you're navigating personal challenges, engaging with others, or simply observing the unfolding of life, let non-judgment guide your path. Carry this teaching with you as we move forward. Non-judgment is a gift you give to yourself and the world. A reminder that every moment holds beauty and wisdom, waiting to be discovered. Chapter 6. Cultivating Gratitude. Our sixth teaching brings us to one of the most powerful practices for enhancing well-being and fostering inner peace: gratitude. In Buddhism, gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling. It's a deliberate way of seeing the world that shifts our focus from lack to abundance, from dissatisfaction to contentment. By cultivating gratitude, we train ourselves to appreciate life's blessings, no matter how small, and in doing so, we transform our relationship with ourselves, others, and the world around us. Let's explore this transformative practice in depth and discover how it can enrich every aspect of your life. Gratitude begins with awareness. It's about noticing the good things that already exist in your life, things you might otherwise take for granted. Consider the air you breathe, the roof over your head, the food on your table, or the people who love you. These may seem ordinary, but they are extraordinary gifts when viewed through the lens of gratitude. When we stop taking these blessings for granted, we awaken to the richness of life. But why does gratitude matter so much? The answer lies in its profound impact on our mental, emotional, and even physical health. Research shows that practicing gratitude reduces stress, boosts happiness, strengthens resilience, and improves sleep quality. It also enhances relationships, fostering deeper connections and a greater sense of belonging. Simply put, gratitude rewires our brains to focus on what's working rather than what's lacking, creating a positive feedback loop that amplifies joy and fulfillment. Let's delve into some practical ways to cultivate gratitude. One of the simplest yet most effective methods is keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, set aside a few minutes to write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental achievements. In fact, the smaller and more specific, the better. For example, instead of writing "I'm grateful for my family," you might say, "I'm grateful for the laughter I shared with my sister during dinner." This specificity anchors your gratitude in real moments, making it more vivid and meaningful. Over time, this practice trains your mind to seek out the positive aspects of your experience, even during challenging times. Another powerful technique is expressing gratitude directly to others. Think about someone who has made a difference in your life, a friend, mentor, co-worker, or even a stranger. Write them a heartfelt note or tell them face to face how much you appreciate them. Not only does this strengthen your bond, but it also amplifies the benefits of gratitude for both parties. Studies show that acts of gratitude increase feelings of connection and trust, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Now let's address a common challenge: cultivating gratitude when life feels difficult. It's easy to feel thankful when everything is going well, but what about during times of hardship? Can gratitude still play a role? Absolutely. In fact, gratitude becomes even more important during tough periods because it helps us reframe adversity as an opportunity for growth. For instance, if you've recently lost your job, you might focus on the skills you've gained, the lessons you've learned, or the chance to explore new possibilities. By finding silver linings, even amidst challenges, you create space for hope and healing. To illustrate this point, imagine a storm passing overhead. While the rain and wind may disrupt your plans, they also nourish the earth, filling rivers and streams, helping plants grow. Similarly, difficult experiences often carry hidden blessings, shaping us into stronger, wiser versions of ourselves. Gratitude allows us to see beyond the immediate discomfort and recognize the larger patterns at play. Gratitude also aligns beautifully with other teachings we've explored, such as mindfulness and non-judgment. Mindfulness teaches us to pay attention to the present moment without distraction, while gratitude invites us to celebrate the beauty within it. Together, these practices create a synergy that deepens our appreciation for life's intricacies. Non-judgment complements gratitude by encouraging us to view situations objectively, without labeling them as good or bad. This openness enables us to find gratitude even in unexpected places. Let's consider how gratitude can transform daily routines. Take something as mundane as brushing your teeth. Normally, you might rush through this task without giving it much thought. But what if you pause to appreciate the fact that you have access to clean water, a toothbrush, and dental care? Suddenly, an ordinary activity takes on new significance. By infusing everyday moments with gratitude, you turn routine tasks into rituals of thankfulness. Gratitude also plays a vital role in overcoming comparison, a habit that often leads to dissatisfaction and envy. Social media, advertising, and societal pressures constantly bombard us with images of success, wealth, and perfection. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring ourselves against others, feeling inadequate as a result. Gratitude counters this tendency by shifting our focus inward. Instead of envying someone else's accomplishments, we celebrate our own progress. Instead of longing for what we lack, we cherish what we already have. To support your gratitude practice, consider incorporating visual reminders into your environment. Place sticky notes with affirmations like, "I am grateful," or "There is always something to be thankful for," in prominent places on your bathroom mirror, refrigerator, or workspace. These gentle nudges serve as prompts to pause and reflect throughout your day. You might also create a gratitude jar where you jot down moments of appreciation on slips of paper and revisit them periodically. Seeing tangible evidence of your blessings reinforces their importance and inspires continued gratitude. Another valuable tool is reframing difficulties through the lens of gratitude. For example, suppose you're stuck in traffic. Instead of growing frustrated, you might think, "This delay gives me a chance to listen to music I enjoy," or "I'm grateful for the safety of modern transportation." Reframing doesn't deny the frustration, it acknowledges it while offering a broader perspective. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to default to gratitude, even in less than ideal circumstances. Now let's examine the spiritual dimension of gratitude. In many traditions, including Buddhism, gratitude is seen as a form of reverence for life itself, for the interconnectedness of all beings, and for the mystery of existence. When we express gratitude, we acknowledge that we are part of something greater than ourselves. This recognition fosters humility, awe, and a profound sense of belonging. One beautiful way to connect with this universal aspect of gratitude is through nature. Spend time outdoors, whether it's walking in a park, gazing at the stars, or simply sitting under a tree, and notice the intricate web of life surrounding you. Reflect on how each element contributes to the whole: the sun providing warmth, the rain nurturing plants, the soil supporting roots. By immersing yourself in nature's generosity, you cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the interconnected systems that sustain us all. Finally, let's reflect on the long-term benefits of gratitude. Beyond improving individual well-being, gratitude has the power to inspire collective change. When we approach life with a grateful heart, we become more compassionate, empathetic, and generous. We're more likely to help others, volunteer our time, and advocate for justice. Gratitude reminds us that we're not isolated individuals, but threads in a vast tapestry woven together by shared humanity. In conclusion, gratitude is a cornerstone of inner peace and meaningful living. It teaches us to savor the present moment, honor our blessings, and embrace life's challenges with grace and resilience. By cultivating gratitude, we not only enhance our own lives, but also contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious world. So whether you're reflecting on past joys, cherishing present gifts, or envisioning future possibilities, let gratitude guide your journey. Carry this teaching with you as we move forward. Gratitude is a light that shines brightly, illuminating the path to fulfillment and connection. Let it fill your days with wonder and your heart with joy. Chapter 7. Understanding Karma. Our seventh teaching takes us to one of the most profound and often misunderstood concepts in Buddhism, karma. In Sanskrit, karma means action, but its implications go far beyond simple cause and effect. Karma is the law of moral causation, the idea that our thoughts, words, and deeds shape not only our future experiences, but also the quality of our inner lives. By understanding and aligning with the principles of karma, we can take responsibility for our actions, create positive outcomes, and cultivate a sense of purpose and integrity. Let's explore this teaching in depth and uncover how it can guide us toward greater harmony and fulfillment. At its core, karma is about intention. Every action we take, whether physical, verbal, or mental, carries energy, and that energy influences the trajectory of our lives. The key factor isn't just what we do, but why we do it. Actions driven by greed, anger, or ignorance tend to generate negative consequences, while those rooted in kindness, wisdom, and compassion lead to positive results. This principle applies not only to external behaviors, but also to the subtle currents of thought and emotion within us. Think of karma as planting seeds in a garden. Each seed represents an action, and the soil represents the conditions of your life. Seeds planted with care and nurtured with patience grow into flourishing plants, while those sown haphazardly or neglected may wither or produce undesirable outcomes. Similarly, the intentions behind our actions determine the kind of harvest we experience. For example, if you consistently act with generosity and empathy, you'll likely attract supportive relationships and opportunities. Conversely, if you habitually engage in harmful or selfish behavior, you'll face challenges and discord. It's important to note that karma isn't about punishment or reward handed down by an external authority. It's a natural law, much like gravity. Just as jumping off a cliff will inevitably result in falling, acting out of hatred or fear will eventually bring suffering. Likewise, cultivating virtues such as patience, honesty, and gratitude naturally leads to happiness and peace. Karma operates impartially, reflecting the choices we make and encouraging us to take ownership of our lives. Let's delve deeper into how karma manifests in daily life. Consider a workplace scenario where two colleagues approach their jobs differently. One consistently offers help, communicates openly, and seeks win-win solutions. The other frequently criticizes others, avoids responsibility, and prioritizes personal gain over teamwork. Over time, these contrasting approaches yield different results. The first colleague builds trust, earns respect, and creates a positive environment. The second alienates co-workers, damages their reputation, and struggles to advance professionally. While external factors play a role, the underlying pattern reflects the karmic principle. Our actions shape our reality. Understanding karma empowers us to make conscious choices. Instead of reacting impulsively to situations, we can pause and ask ourselves, what kind of energy am I putting into the world? Will this action contribute to harmony or conflict? For instance, imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. Your initial impulse might be to honk angrily or shout insults. But if you pause and consider the karmic implications, you might choose a calmer response, perhaps taking a deep breath and letting it go. By refraining from negativity, you avoid creating harmful energy that could ripple outward and affect both your mood and interactions throughout the day. Karma also extends beyond individual lifetimes in Buddhist philosophy. Many traditions believe that unresolved karmic patterns carry forward into future lives, influencing circumstances and relationships. While this concept may seem abstract or challenging to grasp, it underscores the importance of living mindfully in the present moment. Regardless of whether you believe in reincarnation, the principle remains relevant. Every choice matters. How we live today shapes not only our immediate experience, but also the legacy we leave behind. To integrate the teachings of karma into your life, begin by examining your motivations. Are your actions driven by ego, fear, or desire? Or are they guided by values such as compassion, wisdom, and service? Mindfulness is a powerful ally in this process. By observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you can identify patterns that may be generating unhelpful karmic seeds. For example, if you notice recurring feelings of resentment towards someone, explore the root cause. Are you holding on to past hurts or expecting them to change? Letting go of attachment to specific outcomes allows you to respond with clarity and kindness, planting seeds of healing instead of division. Another practical way to work with karma is through ethical conduct. In Buddhism, ethical guidelines known as the 5 precepts provide a framework for skillful action. These include refraining from harming living beings, stealing, lying, engaging in sexual misconduct, and using intoxicants that cloud the mind. While these precepts are not rigid rules, they serve as reminders to align your actions with your highest aspirations. By committing to ethical behavior, you create a foundation of trust and integrity that supports your well-being and strengthens your relationships. Gratitude also plays a vital role in working with karma. When we express gratitude for the blessings in our lives, we acknowledge the interconnectedness of all things. We recognize that no achievement stands alone. It arises through the contributions of countless people, resources, and circumstances. This awareness fosters humility and inspires us to pay it forward, creating positive karmic cycles. For instance, if you're grateful for the education you received, you might volunteer to mentor students or support educational initiatives. By giving back, you amplify the goodness that has touched your life. Now let's address a common misconception, that karma is deterministic, implying we have no control over our fate. This couldn't be further from the truth. Karma emphasizes personal agency. It reminds us that we are the architects of our destiny. While past actions influence present conditions, we always have the power to change course. Every moment offers an opportunity to plant new seeds and redirect the flow of energy. For example, if you've struggled with self-doubt or destructive habits, you can commit to practices that foster self-compassion, resilience, and growth. Each step you take toward transformation weakens old karmic patterns and creates space for new possibilities. Karma also intersects with impermanence, another cornerstone of Buddhist teachings. Because everything changes, so too does the impact of our actions. A single act of kindness can soften decades of resentment. A heartfelt apology can mend a broken relationship. Recognizing the fluidity of karma encourages us to remain hopeful and proactive, knowing that even entrenched challenges can shift with effort and intention. Let's consider how karma applies to collective experiences. On a societal level, the cumulative actions of individuals shape cultural norms, environmental conditions, and global dynamics. For instance, widespread greed and exploitation deplete natural resources and exacerbate inequality, while acts of collaboration and stewardship promote sustainability and justice. By understanding the interconnected nature of karma, we become more mindful of our roles as members of communities and stewards of the planet. Small actions, recycling, volunteering, advocating for systemic change, contribute to larger movements of positivity and progress. To deepen your understanding of karma, reflect on moments when you've witnessed its effects firsthand. Perhaps you've seen how consistent effort led to success, or how dishonesty eroded trust. Use these examples as motivation to align your actions with your values. You might also explore stories from Buddhist texts or other spiritual traditions that illustrate the workings of karma. These narratives often highlight universal truths about human behavior and offer inspiration for living ethically and intentionally. Finally, let's discuss the liberating potential of karma. Far from being a source of guilt or anxiety, karma invites us to embrace responsibility with grace and optimism. It reminds us that we are not victims of circumstance. We are active participants in shaping our lives. By choosing wisely, we can break free from cycles of suffering and create pathways to joy and fulfillment. This empowerment fosters a sense of purpose and agency, helping us navigate challenges with courage and creativity. In conclusion, karma is a profound teaching that illuminates the interconnectedness of all actions and their consequences. It challenges us to live with awareness, integrity, and compassion, recognizing that every choice contributes to the tapestry of existence. By aligning with the principles of karma, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also contribute to a more harmonious and compassionate world. So whether you're making decisions large or small, let karma guide your path. Carry this teaching with you as we move forward. Karma is a reminder that each moment holds infinite potential, the chance to sow seeds of kindness, wisdom, and love. Let it inspire you to act with intention and create a life filled with meaning and beauty. Chapter 8. Finding Balance Through the Middle Way. Our eighth teaching brings us to one of the most essential principles in Buddhism, the middle way. This concept, central to the Buddha's teachings, offers a profound approach to navigating life's complexities with wisdom and equanimity. The middle way is not about mediocrity or compromise. It's about finding balance between extremes, cultivating harmony within ourselves and the world around us. By embracing this path, we can avoid the pitfalls of overindulgence and self-denial, creating a life that is both fulfilling and sustainable. Let's explore how the middle way can guide us toward greater peace, clarity, and purpose. The middle way originated from the Buddha's own journey. Before attaining enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama lived two contrasting lifestyles. First, he indulged in luxury as a prince, surrounded by wealth and pleasure. Yet despite these comforts, he felt unfulfilled and restless. Seeking answers, he renounced worldly possessions and embraced extreme asceticism, subjecting himself to severe deprivation in pursuit of spiritual awakening. However, this path also proved unsustainable, leaving him physically weak and emotionally drained. It was only when he abandoned both extremes and adopted a balanced approach, neither indulging nor denying, that he discovered true liberation. The middle way teaches us to steer clear of polarities in all areas of life. For example, consider work-life balance. Many people oscillate between burnout and boredom, either overworking themselves to exhaustion or procrastinating due to lack of motivation. Neither extreme fosters well-being or productivity. Instead, the middle way encourages us to find a rhythm that honors both effort and rest. By setting healthy boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and staying present with tasks, we create a sustainable flow that supports long-term success and happiness. This principle applies equally to emotional states. Too often, we swing between extremes of attachment and aversion. We cling to pleasurable experiences, fearing their loss, or resist uncomfortable emotions, trying to escape them. Both reactions disrupt our inner equilibrium. The middle way invites us to meet life's ups and downs with acceptance and poise. When joy arises, we savor it without clinging. When challenges emerge, we face them without resistance. In doing so, we cultivate resilience and maintain a steady heart. Let's delve into some practical ways to integrate the middle way into your daily life. One key area is consumption, whether it's food, media, or material goods. In today's culture of excess, it's easy to fall into patterns of overindulgence or deprivation. For instance, you might binge on junk food during stressful times or adopt overly restrictive diets in pursuit of health. The middle way suggests moderation, eating mindfully, choosing nourishing foods, and enjoying treats in moderation. Similarly, with technology, instead of scrolling endlessly through social media or completely disconnecting out of frustration, aim for mindful engagement. Set limits on screen time, curate your digital environment, and use technology as a tool for connection rather than distraction. Another important aspect of the middle way is managing energy. Many of us push ourselves relentlessly, striving for perfection or external validation. Others retreat into passivity, avoiding challenges altogether. Both approaches lead to imbalance. The middle way encourages us to listen to our bodies and minds, honoring our natural rhythms. If you're feeling fatigued, rest without guilt. If you're energized, channel that vitality into meaningful activities. By tuning into your needs and capacities, you align with the ebb and flow of life, conserving resources for what truly matters. The middle way also extends to relationships. Healthy connections thrive on mutual respect, communication, and flexibility. Extremes such as codependence or isolation undermine intimacy and trust. Codependence occurs when we rely too heavily on others for validation or support, losing sight of our individuality. Isolation, on the other hand, stems from fear of vulnerability or rejection, cutting us off from the nourishment of community. The middle way promotes interdependence, a dynamic balance where we give and receive freely, maintaining autonomy while fostering deep bonds. To illustrate this point, imagine a friendship where one person dominates conversations, constantly seeking attention. Over time, this imbalance strains the relationship, leading to resentment or withdrawal. Conversely, if both friends take turns sharing and listening, supporting each other without overshadowing, the connection flourishes. By practicing the middle way in relationships, we create space for reciprocity and growth. Now, let's examine how the middle way relates to mindfulness and non-attachment, two teachings we've explored earlier. Mindfulness helps us stay centered in the present moment, observing thoughts and sensations without judgment. Non-attachment frees us from clinging to outcomes or resisting change. Together, these practices form the foundation of the middle way, enabling us to navigate life's fluctuations with grace. For example, suppose you're preparing for an important presentation. Instead of obsessing over perfection or dismissing its significance, you focus on giving your best effort while remaining open to feedback. This balanced approach reduces anxiety and enhances performance. The middle way also addresses the tension between ambition and contentment. Ambition drives us to set goals, pursue dreams, and contribute to society. Contentment reminds us to appreciate the present moment and recognize that fulfillment isn't contingent on external achievements. Rather than viewing these qualities as opposites, the middle way harmonizes them. You can strive for excellence while celebrating progress, work diligently while cherishing breaks, and dream boldly while grounding yourself in gratitude. Let's consider another common challenge: managing expectations. Unrealistic standards often lead to disappointment and frustration. Whether it's expecting flawless health, seamless relationships, or uninterrupted success, clinging to ideals sets us up for failure. The middle way invites us to embrace imperfection and uncertainty. By setting realistic goals and adapting to changing circumstances, we reduce stress and increase satisfaction. For instance, if you're learning a new skill, acknowledge that mastery takes time. Celebrate small victories along the way, knowing that growth is a gradual process. The middle way also has profound implications for environmental stewardship. Our planet faces crises rooted in extremes: overconsumption, depleting resources, neglect exacerbating pollution. A balanced approach emphasizes sustainability, urging us to consume responsibly, conserve energy, and advocate for systemic change. Simple actions like reducing waste, supporting ethical businesses, and engaging in community initiatives reflect the middle way in action. By aligning personal choices with ecological values, we contribute to a healthier, more equitable world. To deepen your understanding of the middle way, reflect on moments when you've experienced imbalance. Perhaps you've pushed yourself too hard, sacrificing health for achievement, or retreated into inertia, missing opportunities for growth. Use these insights to identify areas where moderation could restore harmony. Journaling can be a helpful tool here, allowing you to track patterns and experiment with adjustments. For example, you notice a tendency to overcommit. Practice saying no to non-essential tasks. If you struggle with procrastination, break projects into manageable steps and reward yourself for incremental progress. Another powerful technique is visualization. Picture yourself walking a tightrope suspended high above a valley. To maintain balance, you must remain focused, adjusting your weight with each step. Distractions or sudden movements could cause you to falter. Now, apply this metaphor to your life. What habits or attitudes are pulling you off center? How can you recalibrate to stay aligned with your values and intentions? Visualization sharpens awareness and reinforces commitment to the middle way. Finally, let's address a common misconception that the middle way requires constant neutrality or indifference. On the contrary, the middle way embraces the full spectrum of human experience. It doesn't ask us to suppress emotions or avoid challenges. It invites us to engage fully while maintaining perspective. Joy, grief, excitement, and fear all have their place in the tapestry of life. The key is to respond skillfully, neither clinging to highs nor resisting lows. In conclusion, the middle way is a timeless teaching that illuminates the path to balance and harmony. It challenges us to transcend extremes and live with intention, compassion, and wisdom. By embracing this principle, we create lives that honor both effort and ease, ambition and contentment, individuality and connection. So whether you're navigating work, relationships, or personal growth, let the middle way guide your journey. Carry this teaching with you as we move forward.
The middle way is a reminder that life's beauty lies in its balance, a dance between light and shadow, action and rest, striving and surrender. Let it inspire you to walk the path of moderation and discover the richness of a well-lived life. Chapter 9. The Power of Forgiveness. Our ninth teaching brings us to one of the most liberating and transformative practices we can embrace: forgiveness. In Buddhism, forgiveness is not just an act of kindness toward others. It's a profound release of resentment, anger, and pain that frees us from the weight of the past. By cultivating forgiveness, we heal wounds, mend relationships, and create space for peace and renewal. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it is essential if we wish to live with an open heart and a clear mind. Let's explore this powerful teaching in depth and discover how it can transform our lives. Forgiveness begins with understanding its true nature. At its core, forgiveness is not about condoning harmful actions or excusing wrongdoing. It's about letting go of the hold that past hurts have on us. When someone harms us, whether intentionally or unintentionally, we often carry the memory of that hurt like a heavy stone, replaying the event over and over in our minds. This constant revisiting keeps the wound fresh, preventing us from moving forward. Forgiveness asks us to set down that stone, not because the other person deserves it, but because we deserve to be free. It's important to recognize that forgiveness is primarily a gift we give ourselves. Holding on to anger and resentment may feel justified, even empowering, but in reality it poisons our own well-being. Studies show that chronic anger increases stress, weakens the immune system, and contributes to mental health challenges such as anxiety and depression. By contrast, forgiveness reduces these negative effects, promoting emotional resilience and physical health. When we forgive, we reclaim our power, choosing peace over bitterness and freedom over victimhood. Let's delve into some practical ways to cultivate forgiveness. One effective approach is self-reflection. Take time to examine the emotions tied to the hurt you've experienced. Are you still holding on to anger? Do you feel betrayed, abandoned, or misunderstood? Acknowledging these feelings without judgment is the first step toward healing. Journaling can be a helpful tool here, allowing you to process your thoughts and gain clarity. Write about the situation, exploring how it impacted you and what lessons it might hold. And this exercise helps externalize the pain, making it easier to work through. Another powerful technique is empathy. Empathy involves stepping into the shoes of the person who harmed you, seeking to understand their perspective without excusing their behavior. Often people act out of ignorance, fear, or suffering they themselves have endured. For example, imagine a friend lashing out at you during a stressful time. While their words may have hurt, considering the context, perhaps they were overwhelmed or struggling silently, can soften your reaction. Empathy doesn't mean agreeing with or approving of harmful actions. It simply creates distance between you and the pain, giving you room to respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. Now, let's address a common misconception that forgiveness requires reconciliation. Reconciliation involves restoring trust and rebuilding a relationship, which isn't always possible or wise after harm has occurred. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is an internal process that doesn't depend on the other person's participation. You can forgive someone without ever speaking to them again, especially if maintaining contact would jeopardize your safety or well-being. Forgiveness is about releasing the burden of resentment within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. To deepen your practice of forgiveness, consider incorporating meditation. One traditional Buddhist practice is loving-kindness meditation, or metta. During this meditation, you focus on sending goodwill and compassion to yourself, loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even those who have caused you pain. Start by repeating phrases like, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease." Then extend these wishes outward, including individuals who challenge you emotionally. Though it may feel uncomfortable at first, this practice gradually softens the heart, dissolving barriers of anger and mistrust. Forgiveness also intersects with other teachings we've explored, such as impermanence and non-judgment. Impermanence reminds us that all emotions, no matter how intense, are temporary. Anger fades, pain subsides, and wounds heal with time and care. Non-judgment teaches us to observe our reactions without labeling them as good or bad, creating space for acceptance and growth. Together, these principles support forgiveness by helping us detach from rigid narratives about the past and embrace the fluidity of experience. Let's reflect on the role of forgiveness in personal transformation. Many spiritual traditions view forgiveness as a catalyst for awakening. When we forgive, we transcend the ego's need for control and vindication, aligning ourselves with higher values such as compassion and understanding. This shift not only benefits us individually, but also ripples outward, inspiring others to adopt similar attitudes. For example, suppose you forgive a family member for a long-standing grievance. Your willingness to let go of resentment may encourage them to reflect on their actions, fostering mutual healing and reconciliation. Forgiveness also plays a vital role in addressing societal issues. On a collective level, cycles of violence, oppression, and injustice perpetuate suffering across generations. Breaking these cycles requires courage and commitment to forgiveness, not as a substitute for accountability, but as a foundation for lasting change. Historical examples abound of communities choosing forgiveness over revenge, paving the way for reconciliation and progress. For instance, South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission demonstrated how acknowledging past wrongs and extending forgiveness could foster unity and healing after decades of apartheid. While systemic injustices demand structural reform, forgiveness provides the emotional groundwork necessary for sustainable peace. To integrate forgiveness into daily life, start small. Practice forgiving minor offenses. For example,
When someone cuts in line or speaks rudely, instead of reacting defensively, take a deep breath and remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes. Over time, this habit strengthens your capacity to forgive larger grievances. Additionally, practice self-forgiveness. Many of us are quick to judge ourselves harshly for perceived failures or shortcomings. Yet, self-forgiveness is crucial for growth and resilience. Treat yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a dear friend, recognizing that imperfection is part of being human. Another valuable strategy is reframing the narrative around painful experiences. Instead of viewing them solely as sources of suffering, look for hidden blessings or lessons. For instance, a difficult breakup might lead to greater self-awareness and independence. A professional setback could reveal new opportunities for development. Reframing doesn't deny the hardship. It expands your perspective, making room for gratitude and insight. Now, let's consider the spiritual dimension of forgiveness. In many traditions, including Buddhism, forgiveness is seen as a form of liberation, a release from the karmic chains of attachment and aversion. By forgiving others, we purify our minds and hearts, creating conditions for deeper connection and enlightenment. Similarly, seeking forgiveness from those we've wronged demonstrates humility and integrity, strengthening our ethical foundation. Whether giving or receiving forgiveness, we participate in a sacred exchange that restores harmony and fosters wholeness. Finally, let's explore the long-term benefits of forgiveness. Beyond improving individual well-being, forgiveness enhances relationships, builds bridges, and promotes social cohesion. It encourages collaboration, reduces conflict, and fosters environments where creativity and innovation thrive. Moreover, forgiveness inspires hope, reminding us that no wound is beyond healing, no relationship beyond repair. By embracing forgiveness, we contribute to a more compassionate and inclusive world. In conclusion, forgiveness is a cornerstone of inner peace and meaningful living. It teaches us to release the burdens of the past, embrace the present with openness, and move forward with grace and purpose. By cultivating forgiveness, we not only heal ourselves, but also inspire healing in others, creating ripples of positivity that extend far beyond our immediate sphere. So whether you're grappling with personal grievances, seeking to mend relationships, or advocating for justice, let forgiveness guide your path. Carry this teaching with you as we move forward. Forgiveness is a light that dispels darkness, a balm that soothes wounds, and a bridge that connects hearts. Let it illuminate your journey and inspire you to live with compassion, courage, and clarity. Chapter 10. Living with Purpose. Our 10th and final teaching brings us to one of the most profound questions we can ask ourselves. What is my purpose? In Buddhism, living with purpose isn't about achieving fame, wealth, or external validation. It's about aligning your actions with values that bring meaning and fulfillment. This teaching invites us to reflect deeply on our intentions, clarify our priorities, and create lives rooted in authenticity, contribution, and joy. By embracing purpose, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also contribute to the greater good, fostering a sense of interconnectedness and belonging. Let's explore this transformative practice in depth and discover how it can guide us toward a life of significance and impact. Purpose begins with self-awareness. Before we can live with purpose, we must first understand who we are and what truly matters to us. Too often, we allow societal expectations, peer pressure, or fear of failure to dictate our choices. We chase careers, relationships, or lifestyles that look appealing from the outside but leave us feeling empty on the inside. The Buddha taught that true happiness arises when we align our lives with our deepest values, qualities such as compassion, wisdom, creativity, and service. These values serve as a compass, guiding us toward decisions that resonate with our authentic selves. One powerful way to uncover your purpose is through reflection. Ask yourself, what activities make me feel alive and energized? When do I lose track of time because I'm so absorbed in what I'm doing? What causes or issues stir my passion and inspire me to take action? Journaling can help you explore these questions, revealing patterns and insights that illuminate your unique gifts and aspirations. For example, if you find joy in mentoring others, your purpose might involve education or leadership. If you're drawn to nature, your calling could relate to environmental stewardship or sustainability. Identifying these threads allows you to weave them into the fabric of your daily life. Another effective technique is setting intentions. Intentions differ from goals in that they focus on how you want to show up in the world rather than specific outcomes. For instance, instead of saying, "I want to earn a promotion," you might set an intention to lead with integrity, empathy, and excellence. Intentions provide a framework for decision-making, ensuring that your actions reflect your values regardless of circumstances. They also foster flexibility, reminding you that success isn't defined by external achievements, but by the quality of your presence and effort. Living with purpose requires courage. It means stepping out of your comfort zone, embracing uncertainty, and taking risks in pursuit of what truly matters. Many people hesitate to pursue their dreams because they fear failure, rejection, or judgment. Yet purpose demands vulnerability, the willingness to be seen, heard, and imperfect. Think of artists, activists, entrepreneurs, and caregivers who dedicate themselves to their craft despite obstacles and setbacks. Their resilience stems from a deep conviction that their work has meaning, not just for themselves, but for others as well. Let's delve into some practical ways to integrate purpose into your daily routine. One approach is mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you stay present with your actions, ensuring that each moment reflects your intentions. For example, if your purpose involves kindness, practice noticing opportunities to extend compassion throughout the day, whether it's holding the door for someone, offering a listening ear, or simply smiling at a stranger. Small, consistent acts of alignment reinforce your commitment to purpose, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Another strategy is cultivating gratitude. Gratitude connects us to the abundance already present in our lives, inspiring us to give back and contribute to the well-being of others. Reflect on the blessings you've received, education, support, resources, and consider how you can use them to uplift those around you. For instance, if you've benefited from mentorship, pay it forward by guiding someone else. If you've experienced healing, share your story to inspire hope. Gratitude amplifies purpose, transforming personal fulfillment into collective progress. Now, let's address a common misconception: that purpose must be grand or extraordinary. While some people may feel called to global movements or groundbreaking innovations, purpose doesn't have to involve sweeping changes. Often it's found in the quiet, everyday moments of connection and contribution, cooking a meal for a loved one, volunteering at a local shelter, or simply being fully present with a friend. All of these actions embody purpose when done with care and intention. Remember, the size of your impact matters less than the sincerity behind it. Purpose also intersects with impermanence, another cornerstone of Buddhist teachings. Recognizing that life is fleeting motivates us to live fully and authentically. When we understand that every breath, every interaction, every opportunity is precious, we prioritize what truly matters. This awareness prevents us from wasting time on trivial pursuits or postponing dreams until the right moment. Instead, we embrace the urgency of now, channeling our energy into endeavors that reflect our highest aspirations. To deepen your understanding of purpose, consider exploring stories of individuals who embody this principle. Throughout history, countless figures have demonstrated the power of living with purpose. From Mahatma Gandhi's commitment to non-violence to Malala Yousafzai's advocacy for girls' education, these leaders remind us that purpose fuels resilience and inspires change. Closer to home, you might think of mentors, friends, or family members whose lives radiate meaning and integrity. Use their examples as inspiration to clarify and pursue your own path. Living with purpose also enhances relationships. When we operate from a place of clarity and authenticity, we attract like-minded individuals who share our values and vision. Together, we form communities grounded in trust, collaboration, and mutual support. For instance, imagine joining a group dedicated to environmental conservation. Not only do you contribute to a cause you care about, but you also forge bonds with others who share your passion. These connections enrich your journey, providing encouragement and accountability along the way. Let's examine how purpose applies to challenges and adversity. Difficult experiences often test our resolve, tempting us to abandon our dreams or settle for mediocrity. Yet purpose gives us strength to persevere, reminding us why we started in the first place. For example, suppose you face rejection while pursuing a creative project. Instead of giving up, reconnect with your initial inspiration. Why did you begin this work? How does it align with your values? Reaffirming your purpose rekindles motivation, helping you navigate setbacks with grace and determination. Forgiveness plays a vital role in sustaining purpose. As we strive to live with intention, we inevitably encounter mistakes, failures, and disappointments. Without forgiveness, these experiences can derail us, leaving us stuck in regret or self-doubt. Forgiving ourselves and others allows us to learn from the past without being defined by it, creating space for growth and renewal. For instance, if a business venture fails, view it as a stepping stone rather than a dead end. What lessons can you carry forward? How can this experience inform your next steps? Finally, let's reflect on the legacy of purpose. Every action we take leaves an imprint, not just on the world, but on future generations. By living with purpose, we model values and behaviors that inspire others to do the same. Consider the ripple effect of generosity. When you give freely, you encourage recipients to pass that kindness along, creating a chain reaction of goodwill. Similarly, when you act with integrity, you raise the standard for those around you, fostering environments where honesty and trust flourish. Purpose ensures that our lives extend beyond ourselves, contributing to a tapestry of shared humanity. In conclusion, living with purpose is a transformative practice that enriches every aspect of our existence. It challenges us to dig deep, clarify our values, and align our actions with our highest aspirations. By embracing purpose, we not only fulfill our potential, but also inspire others to do the same, creating a more compassionate, inclusive, and meaningful world. So whether you're nurturing relationships, pursuing passions, or advocating for justice, let purpose guide your journey. Carry this teaching with you as we conclude our exploration of Buddhist wisdom. Purpose is a beacon that lights the path to fulfillment, a reminder that every moment holds the potential for contribution, connection, and joy. Let it inspire you to live boldly, love deeply, and leave a legacy of kindness and courage. And so, we come to the end of our journey together, a journey through 10 profound Buddhist teachings that offer timeless wisdom for finding inner peace, reducing stress, and living with greater mindfulness and purpose. As we reflect on these lessons, I hope you feel inspired, grounded, and equipped to embrace life with clarity and compassion. Let's take a moment to recap what we've explored. We began by acknowledging the impermanence of all things, learning to let go of attachments and find beauty in the fleeting nature of existence. We then turned inward, practicing mindfulness to anchor ourselves in the present moment and cultivating gratitude to savor life's blessings. Compassion became our guiding light, first toward ourselves, then extending outward to others, creating ripples of kindness and understanding. Through non-judgment, we softened our critical minds, choosing curiosity over condemnation. Karma reminded us of the power of intention, encouraging us to act with integrity and care. The middle way taught us balance, helping us navigate extremes with wisdom and grace. Forgiveness liberated us from the weight of resentment, freeing us to heal and grow. And finally, purpose called us to live authentically, aligning our actions with values that bring meaning and fulfillment. Each of these teachings is a thread in the tapestry of a mindful, peaceful life. Together they form a holistic framework for navigating challenges, celebrating joys, and contributing to the well-being of ourselves and others. But remember, this isn't just knowledge, it's a practice. Transformation doesn't happen overnight, it unfolds gradually, one small step at a time. Be patient with yourself as you integrate these teachings into your daily routine. Celebrate progress, no matter how incremental, and trust that every effort counts. As you step back into your day, carry these lessons with you. When faced with uncertainty, breathe deeply and return to the present moment. When overwhelmed by emotions, meet them with compassion and non-judgment. When confronted with adversity, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I respond with wisdom and grace? By staying connected to these principles, you'll cultivate resilience, joy, and a deeper sense of purpose. I want to thank you for joining me on this exploration of Buddhist wisdom. If this video resonated with you, please consider sharing it with someone who might benefit, a friend, family member, or colleague seeking guidance and inspiration. Together, we can create a ripple effect of mindfulness and compassion that extends far beyond ourselves. Before we part ways, I invite you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Feel the stillness within you, the quiet strength that resides beneath the noise of everyday life. Know that no matter where you are on your journey, you have everything you need to find peace and live fully. Until next time, may you walk gently upon the earth, treat yourself and others with kindness, and embrace each moment with an open heart. Thank you for being here, for listening, reflecting, and growing alongside me. This has been the Mindful Zone. May your days be filled with ease, your nights restful, and your spirit ever curious. Namaste.